Hello, hey guys, welcome to the stream. Yan, so laro tayo. Ba't parang dilim ng kanan? Okay. Okay, start immediately. Oops. Kaya nga, try ko na. Please. Tanang ko. There. There. Marinig just. Uy! Yes. Ay, day. Pasok ka sa Discord. Okay. Um, yeah, Japanese nga. Kasi bagal ang internet na yun dito. Pati ba yung game, Dale? O yung camera lang? Ayun. Kaya camera nga lang. Inis. But anyway, show must go on. Yeah, so many things to improve. Audio, better cam, better internet, better everything. Tell me, Umia, do you think I was excessively familiar earlier in my tone and mannerism? I thought it better to be familiar with than formal if we are to be comrades. But now I worry that it may have detracted from the gratitude and respect I harbor for everyone. Perhaps we might consider it a nod to my regrettably less than humble beginnings? Yes, yes, that will do. Being free to live as one pleases is not without its challenges. In a way, it was easier when I had a mission that consumed my every waking moment, provided me with focus, a constant push in a singular direction. By the way, was casting spells always so draining? I had quite forgotten what it was like to do it without the tower. I rarely felt so exhausted or hungry. Yet if all I did was bend and bow, I would be of limited use to you on your adventures, so I shall persevere. Well, wherever I might have been before, I am now a scion, and an inexperienced scion at that, a green initiate, eager to learn how best to contribute to the cause, that he might follow in the footsteps of his inspiration. Post Shadowbringer, tapos na ba natin yan? I think tapos na. Okay, Alice is 5 point. Yeah, tapos na finally ang 5.3. Now in 5.4. Press the eyes light up in the sight of you. Oh, greetings, Umia. Rest assured everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them and I've satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene in Dawn's Respite, discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we?
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
"'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadow. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?"
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well. Welcome back, everyone!
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
Well, 'tis 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 'tis
The famous Lys Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Grahatir, at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh, right. I
Sorry,
did
boy.
glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it. Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your...
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? All right, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Ah, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you use to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
Kwento mo sa akin, mamaya.
I knew you'd say yes.
Good news, bad news?
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray,
Mind.
enjoy your time together.
Dale, asan ka, Dale? Dale, andito ka ba? Yeah.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
We shall be on our way then.
Parahin lang daw.
Godspeed.
Eat well, Dale. When I set out to save Halric, I think Gabu was always at the back of my mind, and having proved that the light corrupted are not lost. Rice, very nice. Are not lost, I am convinced that the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the ether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant, and though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means unreasonable hypothesis, I'll say, and it warrants full investigation. Indeed. If there's even a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. I'm sure Becklug, my friend Becklug, would remind us we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we could possibly can about temper. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know the elegants took a more than passing interest in the subject. And if what we seek is to be found anywhere, it would surely be at the Aetherochemical Research Facility. Where they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, and I did read the reports on Azizla. Which means we'll be needing an airship. An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silver Tear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Yes. Always prepared to travel. Palaging nakapack. Mga kailangan ipack. Mordona. Oh, kuya ni Madonna, si Mordona. Ay, ang pagal. Yun. Daming quest. Anyway. Maganda. Total. Yeah. I give you Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones and named her for luck and prosperity. Maganda yun pag ano, ina-unmute na naririnig. Totaro, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough but to build an entire airship, I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of Scion's fabled coinkeeper. I'd also introduce myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. But that's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. The Bonanza is equipped with full complement of manufacturers, mana cutters. By the way, feel free to use them to get around Azizda. But enough talk, it's time to fly. All aboard. Oh. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way the airship flies. Tataru has shut down herself. Anyway, here we are on Azizda. An Alphinaud's report did not do a scale of this place justice. The Hatiya surveys is surrounding with an expectant glint in an eye. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand at Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies Beta Quadrant, and yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time in Azizda, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records of the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this leads to an aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. Nakatumba ako dito. Ah, yes. And here's the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to the tempering. Ugh. Brrr. Ah, there we are. Iconic corruption, an overview. That sounds promising. Indeed, let us see what this report has to say. Confound it. The contents appear to have been deleted. What? No. Isn't there something you can do? No, not from here, I'm afraid, but it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says the report was written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters on the Hemisphere. We can ascertain the details at the Hemisphere control. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us. Back to the ship, then. We'll see you at the Hemisphere. If I very cool. If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us its number. There, from what I recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of Warning, an evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Hemisphere is not permitted this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the fourth Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. This is energy level critical. Return to base for charging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access. Force, for example. Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Here, where we to send a surge of energy through the yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for the suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall they are known to form at points of stagnant ether throughout the continent. Recall, are you honestly telling me that that's true? I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning-aspected ether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting to surges that interfered with equipment. A minor detail, I got you, but in the role of a caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there was no such thing as too much elegant knowledge. Besides, my studies helped me to feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, it is more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the Beta Quadrant. Oh, but beware of spikes. They are wont to manifest here where the ether is stagnant. Now you're just showing up. Hi Dale. Which makes me think we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with the shard wins. What do you say? Very well. It would be my honor to become third. Oh, sunset. Sunset, sunrise. Pause now. Yeah. Very cool visuals. Down here. Bravo. That was quite a show on Voyager. Why? The spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations. The last in shard is yours. Ah, you remember that? In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet an honest to God's hero, after all. Well, contest continues, so you had better hurry back. Ah, but one last thing. Thank you, Ulmia, for bringing me here. It appears Alice had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? Tai, what is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal from Umi. And not only about the secrets of adventuring, but come, we should attend to our mission. Good. Looks like a wasteland, yeah. Wait. Well, it's ruins. Naman kasi. Kaya ganun. Parang ancient civilization. Bacolod. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. Access habits. Only one obstacle remains. Ano meron sa Bacolod? May ruins ba doon? Oh. Only one obstacle remains. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood would allow me to venture in an unmolested. Assuming this place works like a crystal tower, yes. But if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. Oh my god. I'm back. Well, nothing for it but to sit tight. Oh. Punta tayo dun. Wow. Would be good, really good cakes. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but iconic corruption and overuse sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of ether. I am nothing if not practical. Alfinol was more philosophical, of course, political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. We asserted that Shulian's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star. In direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention, being a leading member of the forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alfino was utterly convinced of his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently, by which I mean the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded, but deep down he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to meet the young Alfino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the elegant civilization as depicted in the folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studio. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the students of Baldesian convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at that time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods. An Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Mukha silang nakaupo sa loob ng city. Yeah. Very parang ganito. Very sci-fi yung area na to. Parang kasi sila. Ancient civilization na so advanced they killed themselves. They wiped themselves dahil sa sa thirst for knowledge. Yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would have restored in this device. Shall we find out? Harakiri. More like stupidity. Parang yung story nila is trinay nilang kontrolin yung mga gods. Like, isa-subdue nila and ko-kontrolin nila. So, yun. Parang yun yung demise. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be restored. Or shall we find? Seppuku. Oh. Sodoku. Okay. Initializing, scanning, initializing, scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Okay, tama na. Error 404. Verifying. Bloop! Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, your highness. It never ceases to amuse me. It is but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Une said as much when they granted me this gift. But until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. One item found. Iconic corruption and overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Oh, password. Well, go on then, your highness. Tell the nice node the password. Right, let's see. Glory be to Allah. Long live Emperor Sunday. Wrong password. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come now, passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance, dramatic. Password. Password. The notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What interesting for me. Wild Rose. Blake Group password incorrect again. Be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be hasty. A single misstep and risks losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it is them. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. Oh. Rahatiya seems eager to bear the node ever. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rambros did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is no pretext. However, I might look forward to seeing him again. Him and everyone. But come, let us be on our way. Look at him. All but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting. Shall we? Quest accepted. Yes? Dragon. Edgar Sormer. Not my dog. Wonderful news, Ulmia. Tataro contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Trial? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to the recent events in Garlemald. According to the intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on. The Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions in the provinces have begun to move independently for the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is Ilrd. At a legion aligned with Lord Nerva, it appears they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus, aren't they the one who took Yutsui in the Sai? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Tancred and Rianjay will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict. And so thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from the Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the Primal's problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the Beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Luminsans, in particular, struggle in their efforts, and Alfino and Ishtola have been called upon to aid them. So long we are dealing with the Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on the cheer note, why not make ourselves comfortable in Dawn's respite? I shall see in as soon as he arrives. Chip, 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 chip. Wait. Sid. Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather late, early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Oh, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seems exactly as unfathomable as I did. But in an alternate version of myself was already laid them bare. I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What is it? Well, a treatment for tampering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this elegant report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus return to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal would make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating... Nako, ganda ng smell. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing from Rambros. It contains elegant dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. Oh my god, my back. Ding! Parang oven lang. Ah, looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Ah, short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Lol. Node. Open the report entitled Iconic Corruption, an overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Loop, opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than the another. Lesson time. But when a subject is exposed to an ether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend, Sephiroth, would cause a subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributed to the elemental alignment. However, further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged or stagnant during the process. Stagnation of the soul reflects the diluting of the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner, the corrupted becomes worshipper of the icon, preparing serving the authority to empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of icon corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we are successful, albeit in a great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance to the protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested to that decision. And for my impertinence, I have been stripped of my rank and title and will surely be expelled from this facility. Rapping yo. Let's go. Break it down. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hope that one day someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find the truth to the victims of chronic corruption, and record them. Parang ano lang ah. Star Wars. Merong hologram. So not even the Elegants were able to find the cure, or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms the stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angela is remedy. True, yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do not but to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we should somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its trial. You could not remember who they were. So there's no particular part of the souls in this. But of course, memory transference, the process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit effects to only those memories that existed prior to the temporary. Through thus restoring the sense of self, you could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith which had come to dominate individuals' thoughts. I see. The theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you are right. Despite my best effort, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide basis for cure. Then perhaps it's better that we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe the reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics, which lends me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of transference techniques. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of few days. In theory, it will be no different from how we identified the password, but it will take more calculating power. A lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind the password? To reveal for firing. Yes, of course, why? Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and dictionary wouldn't keep it from person to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike members of the certain distinguished engineering collective, I believe their motto was freedom through technology, or some such. You two, round up the Magitech terminals you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get busy. Lucky we have you to help, eh? Okay. I think that's it for tonight. 1 hour na. Ano ba? One. Scratch na lang tayo ng tickets muna before mag-end. And I wanna have dinner then. I'm hungry. Kain muna tayo. Okay. Mag-ano lang tayo ng sweepstakes. Medyo gutom lang. Pero carry pa naman. Okay. Aha. Ay, nako. Jackpot? That's... Yun. Second place. And then... Okay. That's it for tonight, guys. See you tomorrow. Kain tayo after. Bye. GG's. Thanks, guys.